Hi everybody, and welcome to Jewell Family Farm. Well, it's New Year's Eve and tomorrow, New Year's Day. I know a lot of you have special things that you cook on those days, and our special thing that we always have, a lot of people in the South here eat it, is black-eyed peas, cabbage, and pork. You all know that we butcher our own hogs, so the meat that I use to make barbecue is like big chunks of pork that doesn't really, it's just bits and pieces of pork that you know, I don't want to really make into a package that says shoulder or Boston butt or whatever. So it's just bits and pieces of a whole bunch of different parts, but it's big chunks of meat. So what I do is I put that in the crock pot and I cooked it overnight, and I just covered it with water and put a little bit of salt on it and let it cook in the crock pot overnight. So I was making this movie to show you how to make this barbecue using a barbecue sauce that I like to use. It's called Kansas City BBQ Sauce, and I've used that for probably 30 years. It didn't record. I don't know what I did wrong, but anyway, I'm going to leave the recipe for the barbecue sauce down below. And like I said, you just if you're buying your pork from the grocery store, a picnic shoulder or a Boston butt or anything like that, it works fine for this recipe. And you just put it in your crock pot and cover it with water and a little bit of salt and let it cook overnight. I think I had mine on low and I cooked it for 10 hours. And it turned out really, it just fell apart. And I just took a fork and just shredded it with a fork and made my barbecue sauce. And then this is what it looks like now. So I put it back in the crock pot and I got my barbecue sauce in there. I'm just letting it cook on low for a couple of hours just so that it kind of soaks up some of this barbecue sauce. But it's a really good barbecue sauce, and I will leave the link below, and I hope you like it. So I'm going to make some slaw now, and what we're having tomorrow, you know, the slaw will go on our barbecue sandwiches. I'm going to make those hamburger rolls, and I'll try to leave a link for the hamburger rolls down below also. They're very easy to make, but all of this that I made, the pork barbecue, and most of all the ingredients that are in the sauce is stuff that you have in your house. So you don't really have to go out and buy anything. So anyway, I'll leave that link, and let's get started making some slaw. This one doesn't really have, like, I don't have a recipe for it per se. I'm going to try to do the best that I can with the recipe, but a lot of things that I make I don't have recipes for. But anyway, we're going to make some coleslaw for our barbecue sandwiches. So first thing you want to do is you want to peel off these outer edges. Now I've already peeled off most of them, and I washed my cabbage, and I've already used some of my cabbage, so this has already been washed and cleaned. So I have a lot of people coming for dinner tomorrow, but most likely none of the kids are going to eat coleslaw, so I am going to make a fair amount, but just cut it into chunks. Something, whatever your food processor will handle. And I just put it in there, chop it up. Okay, so I chop it up real fine. I like it like that. And I'm just going to put it over into this bowl. I'm going to mix it all up in this bowl, and then I'm going to put it in a prettier bowl to serve. I don't like to serve them in messy bowls. Alright, so you just keep doing that until you get the amount of cabbage that you want. Now, you know, I don't know if you haven't never cooked fresh cabbage before. There is a core. If you can see, there's a hard core that runs right down the middle of it. So you kind of want to cut around that core. See, here's the core right here. You don't really want to put that in your slaw. I guess some people do. You can if you want to, but I don't. I'll show you what I do with the core. I cut all this stuff from around the core. I cut this end off. And that's what it looks like. And I just trim it up. I know a lot of you mountain people know all about this. A lot of people put this in their kraut when they make sauerkraut. My brother, he loved the core in the sauerkraut when my grandma would make sauerkraut. It stays nice and crisp. But that's what we do. We just do that, peel it, get the core out. Then we cut it up into little strips. Makes a whole bunch of little strips like this. And then we take some salt. And we just put a little bit of salt on it. Just a little bit. And then we eat it. And it's delicious. Try it. You might like it. Okay, back to the slaw. I'll just lay these over on a little dish over here. Because I'll be eating those for my lunch. Okay, let's start back on this. So cut your cabbage up. Cut up these few pieces that I skinned off of that core. I don't think I want that. I don't want these outer pieces. It's kind of rubbery. But all this is good. I don't want to waste anything. All right, you can see that chopped up really good. Probably all the slaw I want to make. It's about that much right there. Alright, so what I do then is I put one whole onion. I've already peeled it and washed it. I'm going to put one whole onion in here. And then I'm going to take a carrot, peel my carrot. I've already washed my carrot. Rinse it off again. I'm going to cut this up into pieces and throw it in the food processor. Alright. Lay this up here with my stalks. Dump this. Alright, I don't have a green pepper, I just have a yellow one, and it needs to be used up. And I've already washed it. Cut this little spot out here. You can use green peppers, red peppers, whatever kind of peppers you want in your slaw. I just happen to have this yellow one, and it tastes almost the same as a green pepper. So I need to use it up, and so I'm going to just put that in there. Cut out these little ribs in here. And cut off the bottom part of it too. Just cut it into strips. Okay. That's all that has to go in there. Alright, so this is what this looks like. I'm just going to dump it in the bowl. To that, I'm going to add some dill weed, only because I really like dill weed. You don't have to put this in if you don't like it, but I do. So I'm probably going to put about 1/4 of a teaspoon. I'm going to put a little bit of celery seed, about 1/4 of a teaspoon. Now, if you have people in your family that may not be able to eat celery seed, because sometimes it bothers people's teeth sometimes. Okay, so then we're going to add, I want some parsley in it. I'm just going to put about 1 teaspoon of parsley in it. All right, so in this, we're going to add some mayonnaise. About 6 tablespoons of mayonnaise. We're going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I think I want to use one tablespoon of vinegar. Put some milk, about 1 tablespoon of milk, and I want this with Splenda in it. About 1 tablespoon. Let's try this, because like I said, I don't have a recipe to follow for this. I just do it however I want to do it, and you can add and subtract however you want to do it. And I'm thinking that I might need to add a little bit more mayonnaise, because I don't think that's going to be enough to cover this. So I'm thinking probably about 1/2 cup of mayonnaise altogether. Taste it to see if it needs anything. think it needs a little bit more sugar, a little bit more Splenda. I think it needs just a little bit more vinegar. I think that might do it. Okay. I'm going to salt and pepper my cabbage. It's to taste. I'm going to mix all this up. Now you can use sugar if you want, if you're not into Splenda. The sugar's fine. I'll probably use about 1/4 cup of sugar. Show here where you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so then you just mix all this up. Now you can double this recipe if you need to, or if you make more, if you cut up more cabbage and you have a bigger crowd, of course you're going to have to make more dressing. But this is pretty easy to do. I mean, it's stuff that you have mostly, I would think, have in your house, and it makes a really good slaw. And if I was going to compare it to the taste, I would say it would probably taste more like KFC slaw. That's what it tastes like to me, anyway. Okay. It's not too sweet. It's not too sour. It's very mild. It's good taste and slaw. Alright, so let's put it in this dish. As you can see, it made a big bunch. I think I used about 3/4 of that cabbage. It's very easy and inexpensive to make, and that's going to go on top of our barbecue sandwiches. Like I said, I'm going to make black-eyed peas to go with it, so I'm going to put a little chunk of meat in my black-eyed peas while I'm cooking those, and then make the buns for our barbecue and have slaw on it, and that's going to be our New Year's dinner. So anyway, if you're looking for something inexpensive and you want to use the 3 things that people in the South use, which is black-eyed peas, cabbage, and pork, you can do it in many varieties. You don't have to do a barbecue and slaw. That's just how I do it. Some people do fried cabbage and pork loins. There's many things you can do for that day if that's your tradition. And what the tradition is it just says that it's a superstition, kindly, that says, you know, if you eat those things, that you'll prosper and won't be, and have plenty of money for the following year. So who don't want that? Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you try this, and I'll see you soon. Happy New Year. God bless. I hope next year is a whole lot better, and I'm just hoping that it will be. So anyway, please like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Count your blessings. Bye.